Hey there, you guys. Welcome back this Friday to American Perspective with Patriot Mom 007 here, Noél Roberts in Arizona. And we're happy to have you back. Thanks for sharing part of your afternoon with us. There is, as I say, every week so much going on, and this week is no different. It is like Groundhog Day in America. I think I'm realizing that because we're still talking this week about these idiots, I guess. I was going to say people, but this would be the one time idiot is a word you can use, which I do not actually think is a good thing to do, call people names, but there's no way around it. So the idiots that keep going down to El Salvador, who are working for us, they're our employees. Somebody hired them in those states, and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and nobody's stopping them. And so I just wanted to share, and I hate bringing it up, but I guess we have to, instead of sweeping their stupidity under the rug, we have to highlight it nonstop before the next election. So I guess that would be a good reason to recycle the news so much, is for that reason alone. So let's bring up what our, I guess, favorite poster child for stupidity of Senators Van Hollen on our post number 1 in El Salvador did. And we're going to bring it up also with post number 2, Robert, you with me? And yeah, we can go side by side with 1 and 2. And then we have, of course, President Trump with our angel mom, Rachel Morin's mom. And you can see they're saying, the New York Times, Senator meets with wrongly deported Maryland man, but then they scratched it out and, he's an MS-13, meets with MS-13 illegal alien, right? So the way they bring these things up is absurd. And then they just pretend that what they tell you is the facts. When, if you look, you can see, I have this post up the other day. He entered illegally, crime. He physically abused his then girlfriend, domestic violence, crime, felony. MS-13 gang members, they are marked. I think they kill you if you do it, if you're not part of the gang. So I'm guessing he's a gang member, crime. And everything else you can see is ridiculous. And then you have Rachel Morin's mom, if you could bring that up. And she lost her daughter to another criminal alien. And all these people are down there, including an Arizona congresswoman, uh, fighting for this person, criminal, who is not a citizen, to come back. So this is what they're doing in Arizona. I'm ashamed to say this is one of our new congresswomen. Go ahead on that. Do we have that?
Hi everyone, this is Congresswoman Yasemin Ansari. After a long day, we have arrived in El Salvador. I am here with several of my colleagues to demand that Donald Trump release Kilmar Abrego Garcia, union member, Maryland man who was wrongfully detained and deported, has never been convicted of a crime, and who the United States Supreme Court has ruled 9-0 unanimously the United States must facilitate his return. Last night, I had a town hall in my district where a woman came and said her son, who is Salvadoran, they are scared to travel this summer because what if what happened to Kilmar Garcia happens to them? If there's not due process for Kilmar, there will be no due process for anyone. We want to make sure that Kilmar is still alive. We want to make sure that he has access to counsel. We want to make sure that the United States does what it's supposed to do, follow the Supreme Court of the United States and release him. And we are here fighting for the future of our democracy.
Right. So that is our newest Congress woman, Yasmin Ansari. I think I got that right. Well, hopefully it doesn't matter if you know her name or not, because she'll be voted out as quickly as she was voted in. Obviously not working for the people. who live here and are citizens. And then if we have number 2, Robert, real quick with Rachel Morin's mom, do we have that with President Trump in the Oval?
Hi, everyone. This is Congresswoman
No,
Yasemin
that's not.
Ansari.
No, just
After a long
President
day,
Trump.
we have
Well,
arrived.
just to say, President Trump, hosted Rachel Morin's mom more than once, and she actually spoke at the press conference last week, and nobody covered it. It was like 12 seconds on everyone else and turning off the feeds when she stepped up to the podium to, 127 or 147 minutes, this criminal alien back in his own home country is receiving. So it is stark graphic of what is wrong with America still. It's going in a good direction, so don't think it's not. I think it is for sure, but we do still have to keep in mind that there are a lot of people who don't really have the best interest in mind of the people who are, here legally, like you, me, your families. And on American perspective, I mean, I'm a first generation Middle Eastern, born here, but all my relatives are from another country, and it wasn't easy, but they all managed to get their citizenship, through the years and pay their fees and were productive citizens, and it can be done. And there's no reason it can't be. So those of us who know that is to be true, there's no tolerance for anything other than the law and order side of immigration. And everybody's welcome, of course, but if nobody follows the rules, then, I mean, we might as well just call ourselves a prison colony, North American prison colony, because that's what it would be like, mayhem. And so this stark reality is you've got people that we've hired who are helping criminals come back, like the judge that just got, busted and taken off the bench yesterday or the other day before, who was harboring an illegal and gang members in his home. So listen, anybody who says that conservatism is bad, moral standards, guidelines, law and order, then I hope that if you listen to nothing else today, you listen to the opening of the show and then start researching what's really happening. And when they don't give any coverage, so you don't know what's going on, you got to find out the information. So whether it's here today on Fridays, we hope you join us every week, or anywhere else, I just encourage you always, please find resources that will assist you in figuring out what's really going on in our world, in your city. So that aside, I mean, yeah, so much happening in the world, but we today, and I'm excited because I have really specific questions for Jeff Adam, and we met a few months ago, and so he's got a lot of great information. This is a science, this is gonna be science meets American perspective. And so it's going to be interesting because, I'm a manicurist for 30 years, not a scientist. So, it's that part's always challenging, but the product part is what I get excited about because I've been using these products since December. And so now I get to ask him more stuff about them, right? And do we have, Robert, number 4 video of Jeff, just to hear a little bit about him before we bring him on?
Hey everybody, as you can hear, we are warming up.
That one's Caroline. So we are going to hear from her later, though. She does always give up that MAGA minute wrap up. So that was a little.
And if you're familiar with silver, you'll know that before 1923, silver was the #1 prescribed antibiotic in the world. And Big Pharma tried to patent it, and they couldn't because silver is part of the monetary system. And so a few years later, they discovered penicillin, and they've posted about a 4,000% profit margin ever since. So they've been really trying to have a big push in getting silver out of society. If you go in the journals of medicines before 1965, there was over 5,000 references to silvers in the journals of medicine. Now there's less than 100.
Wow.
And doesn't work any worse than it did before. So you've probably heard of colloidal silver, ionic or nano silver.
We use that.
And those were the mainstay, but they were flawed. They work great for what they do, but there was limits on them. Silver historically is unstable. It reacts with light, temperature, heat, barometric pressure, so it's so reactive that it reacts different in everybody's body. And 2 degrees temperature difference when you're making it, you have a different product. So my goal was to set out to create something, stabilize the silver, and through the grace of God, we were actually able to figure it out. So we're the only people in history that figured out how to stabilize silver without adding chemicals. So we start by restructuring the water, changing it, so instead of 8 oxymolecules, it has like 28 oxymolecules. And then we restructure the ion, taking it apart, putting it back together, creating ozone in itself and stabilizing itself. So the category is, so there's colloidal silver, there's ionic silver, there's nano silver. Well, now there's micronic silver.
So that was the science part of it. And we're going to touch on it a little bit, but we're really going to do products today. So my point will be, you're going to want to check Jeff out at micronicsilver.net. And all the links, of course, are in the descriptions everywhere at patriot_mom007. So you can find all of that information and go check out his full videos that people help him make along the way at all the health fairs you can find him at throughout the year. We'll talk about that too. Don't let me forget about that, Jeff. I'm telling him right now. And so we're going to learn, but I really want to get to the products. So let me just tell you before he does come on, Jeff Adam is a self-made entrepreneur who launched his own construction business at just 18 years old, overcoming dyslexia and ADHD along the way. In 2007, a chance meeting with a biochemical engineer introduced him to ionic silver, sparking his passion for health innovation. Jeff's signature product, Micronic Silver, is engineered with ultra-small, micron-sized particles for superior absorption, setting it apart from traditional silver supplements. He is a recognized pioneer in health innovation and a strong advocate for medical freedom, arguing that the suppression of alternatives like Micronic Silver is part of a troubling trend that limits individuals' rights to make informed healthcare choices. Jeff is honored that Micronic Silver has been endorsed by respected MAHA advocates, including Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, Judy Mikovits, and Dr. Brian Ardis. His journey is a testament to resilience, innovation, and the importance of empowering people to take charge of their own health. So with that introduction, so I hope we got a lot of that out of the way, and we're going to dive right in. I really want to welcome today to American Perspective Jeff Adam, co-founder of Nature's Miracle Silver Lining, LLC. So that was a mouthful. So thank God you're on, Jeff, because now I'm going to put you on camera the whole time and you're going to tell us about everything. How are you today? Oh, I can't hear you. Robert? Not hearing him at all.
Okay, how is this? Is this any better?
Oh, perfect. Yes, that's so much better. If we're going to talk, I definitely want to hear you.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting introduction. I haven't a chance to watch the news, so what I get out of that is we have a congresswoman named Yes, I Mean I'm Sorry representing Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, that's a great meme. Somebody needs to meme that. Do AI that, somebody. I don't know how to do that stuff yet, but that would be a good one. Yep, that about sums it up. Just crazy people helping crazy criminal element people. And nobody seems to think that's weird that we're paying their salaries to do that.
No,
and watching it happen.
It's right in our society. You have, it's interesting. You have men in women's sports that now there's like 3 or 4 categories men can win, and there's none for women.
Right.
This is insane.
Right. What I know, women are not getting the trophies. And like, well, if men get all the trophies in the women's sports, where would the women get any trophies? So
I think they need to have a competition for having babies, because I can guarantee if the woman has the first, the man has the second, there will never be a third.
Yes, that would be interesting. Yeah, we need to put that one. And I don't know, why haven't they tested that? They spend all this money in Congress and on all these other crazy mice on, wheels and whatever they're doing to mice these days, which is horrific, torturous, stupid testing that doesn't yield anything for the human race. Anyway, and they don't want to test if men can have babies. Let's just do that test. That's an easy one. It wouldn't really cost that much.
I don't think you'll have too many men signing up to do that.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, they've got, yeah, not the right, that would not be good for
See,
anybody.
and I've always liked
Anybody in the
science.
room.
No,
Anybody
I've
in the
always liked
room.
science because science is finite. I mean, science is
Yeah,
this is what it is.
you're a
At
science
least it was
guy.
until a couple of years ago. And now I find out everything I believed in a man and a woman is wrong. And it's like, wow, this is really gotten to the point where the lies become the
Right.
standard and the truth makes you evil.
Yeah, and it is disturbing when you put it like that because we cannot let the next generation think this stuff is normal. Because that would, when they start doing that, that's not going to work out for anybody in the end. Certainly not our kids' kids. So, um, speaking of science, you're the science guy. You are the science guru of the two of us for sure. I know you run in a high group of science people, so I don't know, but with you and me, yep, you're there for sure. And so, you and I met in December here in Phoenix at AmFest, and I didn't get to post our interview because you know how loud it was in there? Do you remember with the
Yeah.
back booth? Yeah, the sound just wasn't as good as I would want it to be. And so instead of doing that, I just thought, we'll just do this and it'll be perfect and everybody can hear you, which
Yeah, and I
is
think we became
important.
friends. We really became friends then. So it wasn't really a
Yeah,
matter of, if I was going to be back on your show because you got my number, you could call me anytime and say, "Hey, Jeff,
true.
let's do this again." So,
Well,
and it's all
that's
in,
true, true.
it is in God's
Yeah.
time.
And then I decided because I've been using the products for 6 months that then I talked to one of your people in your office,
Kieran.
Kieran, yeah. And just through email and Amy, of course, Amy Book at CJ, you guys. That's how actually Jeff and I know each other, but you could actually use Book at CJ to find people like Jeff on your shows. So anyway, I always want to say that because I like them so much. And so then I didn't realize I knew Amy and she was talking to me about you, but I had met you already. And then I didn't know you were the same conversation and we linked it together. And then you came and saw me at AmFest. And then we saw each other subsequently at other events shortly thereafter. And that's how that happens. And yeah, so how have you been?
Well, I've been
How?
blessed.
Yeah,
God's really blessed us. We moved into a bigger building, just got done setting up my lab so we can increase production. The testimonies that we're getting are just absolutely amazing from different people. I mean, people are using our products on their pets, on their babies, on themselves. It's really just God's just blessed us immensely. I can't put it any other way.
right. And you've been around the country. I wanted to mention this at some health fairs. Tell us about those because I don't want to forget about them. And if there's any coming up over the summer or fall.
Yeah, I've been at the Healing of the Ages, which is Brian Artist and Henry Ely. Sherry Tenpenny invited me to one in Georgia. That was a group of doctors that get together. There's about 1,500 of them. I spoke there. Did the Life Conscious, Conscious Living shows, the Body, Mind, Spirit shows, which in themselves are always interesting because you got the people with Ricola horns and sitting under pyramids, just with spiritual people, palm readers, and actual physical, medical type products all lumped into one. So that's always interesting.
Right.
But, we just want to get the product out to people. We want people to realize that, they need to take control of their health. Sherry Tenpenny, it was really interesting. She said one time because she was putting some clinics together, and back in the 90s, early 2000s, you could walk in. There was called aftercare centers, and you could just walk in and get treated, and they had a 92% payment rate of people paying. You could walk in there and go, "I have a sore throat, I have this," and they would sit down with you and say, "Okay, here's the bill. How can you pay it?" And you'd go, "I can afford $10 a month," and they would treat you. And they would actually teach you about some natural stuff. And then they started hiring all these doctors, putting on hospitals, go, "You can't do this." And the point that she made with me is that, the insurance industry has really taken over the medical. When you look at your homeowner's insurance is really, really affordable, but your car insurance isn't. That's
right?
because if your homeowner's insurance, if you had somebody change an outlet and wash your windows and vacuum your floor and do every little thing, homeowner's insurance would be just unreachable. We have to take back our health. We have to start doing the things we can do and get these natural products, the Micronic Silver and some of the other ones that we know and we talk about, and save the hospitals for when you need something cut off or removed, or something that you need stitched together. And we need to get healthy on our own and educate ourselves. So a lot of the people that I travel with, Brian and Sherry and Judy included, they're about education and talking to people and informing people that there are natural ways of getting healthy. And a lot of it does have to do with our diets. In the Eastern medicines, your diet is everything. There's roots, there's berries, there's herbs. There are all natural things that work with you on building the immune system. And coincidentally, with big pharma, and I'm not as anti-pharma as you would think I would be, because I think if it's taken you 20 years to get this sick, there's not something all natural that's going to knock it out. But it should never be that the first thing is to stick a needle in your arm for treatment. And we have to just start educating ourselves and getting the truth out there. And actually, I believe it's Revelation where it says, at the end of times, his saints are going to shine like bright beacons and speak with a thunderous voice. And you are the voice. The podcasters like you are the voice that allow us to get the right information out. Oh, I lost my volume. I can't hear you.
Oh, wait, that's me. That's my volume. I would say you are the voice and I am the conveyor of the voice.
You're the
That's what I
megahorn.
would say. Because, yeah, some would say, because what you just said, I don't think I could say as you did. You know what I mean? Like this is your wheelhouse. And so that's why I was excited to have you on. And I'm feeling like, wow, I get the doctor like house call, which is cool these days. Who can afford that? And remember when doctors made house calls? They did back in Allentown, where I'm from.
Yeah.
Our doctor made house calls. He delivered, me and my sister were twins, and he made house calls. Remember that? With
Well,
a
and yeah,
diaper bag.
See, and doctors had to take care of their patients because it became like family oriented, where you didn't have this
Yes.
steady pipeline of them pumping patients to you. So they really had to be concerned about them. Nowadays, it's big pharma gives all the scholarships and all the grants, and these people go to the colleges and they learn how to diagnose and prescribe. They don't get on microscopes and take a look at things. They don't compound the pharmaceuticals for you. They just say, okay, well, if you don't come back, there's 500 people waiting for a doctor.
And they count pills, right? They're not compounding. We used to have compound
Pharmacy.
pharmacies. That's what we did. And yeah, exactly. And they would cut the stuff, like they would create the medicine and put it in capsules, I guess. I don't remember, stamp out the pills or whatever. And now they just count, they literally count pills two by two. And they become just a factory, a pill factory. I guess the pharmacies are just pill factories.
Yeah, I had a
Right.
gentleman 2 years ago. He was big in sports radio in Chicago, and he was recommended by another kind of sports legend that I deal with. And he said, I got shingles on my leg, so I'm like, okay. So I sent him some product, and our product works amazingly on shingles. Well, 5 days later, he calls me, goes, it's not working. And I was like, then you don't have shingles. He goes, no, the doctor said it's shingles. I said, take a picture of it and show me. From his hip to his foot was bright red. And I go, oh my, you got cellulitis. You got to get to a hospital. That's a blood poisoning. And he goes, no,
Oh,
she said it was shingles. I'm like, that's not shingles. He went to the hospital. He was in there for almost a month. They said another 7, 8 hours and he would have been dead.
oh my
And again,
gosh.
and this was a younger doctor. Her dad was a doctor. He retired. She went through medical school and she looked in a book and goes, oh, it's shingles.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, no, because when he's showing me, from his hip down was bright red and swollen. When you have shingles, it follows the striation of the muscles and kind of wraps around with the sores. I mean, and this was just beet red and looked like it was glowing.
I mean, how old was this person?
He was in his late 60s, and his doctor was in her early 30s.
I mean, you think stuff on top of your skin, they would at least learn that. I get if they don't all know the internal stuff, because that's a specialty, but you think the topical stuff they would teach the doctors just for visual inspection before you have to know a specialty. And I'm not a doctor, so I don't know, but that's crazy. And so wait, are we talking about this one for that ailment?
The Aleazone, no, we're talking about the Micronic Silver dietary supplement
Oh, I have that.
and the topical healing spray. So we have a lot of people
Oh, I have
that
that
take that
too.
internally
Wait, I
and
have
then
them
do
both.
topically. Right. So a lot of our skin conditions, it's called sandwiching. So typically when you put something on the surface, the virus or bacteria retreats into your system trying to avoid it. Or if you take something internally, your outbreaks get worse, like with acne. You know, the breakouts get worse because you're trying to push it out of the body. We found that taking it internally and topically and you're sandwiching, the virus or bacteria
Okay.
fungus has nowhere to go but to die.
Right. So you're like killing it, right?
Yeah,
Like
we're
a
killing it.
combo. So killing it, right? Killing it off. So dietary, right? Is that what you're doing,
Yep.
right? You're
Yep.
yeah, making it rigid. It's yeah. So dietary supplement that I have. Okay, so I've been using these again. I always would admit not probably as often as I should. So that's always a struggle. Is this doing everything and changing your habits? It's not easy. So it's every day is a process, and if you miss one, you just have to start the next day. So
Yeah,
I
and you
say that
travel
out
a lot
loud to be
too.
accountable. What's
So
that?
you
I
travel quite a bit too. So it's
well,
always hard to
yeah.
get on regiments when you're travel.
Yeah, very true. That is a fact. And so and just to let you know, and I want to talk about this in general, but I've noticed there's no odor smell to these products. It's like they're like almost like it's an interesting, I don't know how to describe it, like a clean smell, but there's no smell, but like
And no
air, I don't
taste.
know.
So the Micronic Silver will have pretty much no taste, the dietary supplement.
And no taste. It's so clean. It's like there's nothing there, but there's a substance. It's a weird thing to describe. So tell us the dietary supplement, all that it does and what, dosage looks like on
Well,
average.
typically, so that bottle that you have, you can take it as a preventative or a therapeutic. So you can take it if you're sick, or you can just take it so you don't get sick. As a therapeutic, that bottle is about a 48-day supply. You take about a teaspoon once a day. If you get a toothache, you can take a teaspoon, hold it where the toothache is for about 30 seconds, swish it around, swallow it, and pretty much the pain is gone, the infection is neutralized. We have a lot of people with handicapped children that are really sensitive to taste, so it's hard to give them anything, and the products work extremely well for them. And they can simply put a teaspoon in the glass of water and have the person drink it.
Oh,
And
so you can mix the dietary supplement with just cold beverages then? Does it break down like in coffee or tea, or
no, see, that's the cool thing
does the
about
temperature
the
destabilize
Micronic
it?
silver is stable. So when you talk about a colloidal silver or an ionic silver, you can't do that. With the Micronic silver being stable, it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold. It doesn't affect it. So that's
Okay.
the big revolutionary benefit of the Micronic silver over the colloidal, the ionic, and the nano is its stability. And the Micronic silver is not destroyed by stomach acid, so it's a sublingual and ingested delivery, where the other ones are
Okay.
strictly sublingual.
Okay, so super scientific there, but that's why I encourage you to get on the website, because at micronicsilver.net and look at videos on YouTube and really start listening to the science part, because that's where you're going to have to take some time, not this moment, right? Because this is going to be a snapshot today for you guys, and really look at the resources and delve into what these things do internally for you, because we've been all conditioned. We used to take vitamin C as kids. We took, I don't know, what did we used to take, Jeff? The old remedies, chamomile tea, things that are good. But I'm just saying there's other things that are good that we have never heard about widely. We'll talk about that later. And because of suppression stuff. And so we just have to re-educate ourselves, and it takes a lot of time to do that. So I'm just saying, go get the resources. And so that is what the dietary supplement works on. And I've been taking it. Yeah, I mean, it's great. Not a problem at all. No flavor, so it's easy.
Yeah,
And I
typically
don't, yeah.
silver's noted for bacteria, funguses, viruses. The Micronic silver also helps with microbes, parasites, and that kind of stuff. So, and the Micronic silver is unique in the fact that it doesn't destroy the good bacteria either. It only goes after the bad.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's good. That sounds all healthy. And then the sandwich part, the topical healing spray. So that's this one. And oops, let's see if
There we go.
there we go. Okay, let's see if I can it. Okay, so this is a spray and it is just like it says, just a spray, right? There you go. And it's very light. It's not, there's no residue, like there's nothing. You just can feel it kind of just absorb, I guess, into your skin. Just like
Yeah,
that. And
and
it's
unlike
just,
other companies, with our topical healing spray, we make it twice as strong as our dietary supplement. So a lot of the other companies, they just put a sprayer on their dietary one and say, okay, here's our topical spray. We actually make it twice as strong because of the amount of evaporation versus penetration. So it makes sure you get full strength. We do have Dr. Seema Nanda, who owns the Nanda Eye Institute, using that with her eye patients. It's been about 2 years now, and she's like, this stuff never fails. She's like, whenever there's an eye issue, and I use it myself. I have animals, so if I
like you would spray, like you put drops in your eye, you would spray it in your eye.
yeah, I don't like eye
You
drops,
put
so I just spray it.
like, so eyes open and spray it. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
or blink real fast as you spray it, and it'll get in the eyes.
And
But
what would it help with? What could it help with? Because we're not diagnosing anything, but what potentially could it help with?
well, with dry eye for one, like I said, I have allergies, so if I touch one of my animals and I touch my eyes, they get all red. So with allergies, any of that kind of stuff, instant relief. Conjunctivitis, pink eye, I think is usually about 6 hours. It's
So
gone.
good when you have kids in school and daycare. Big
Yes,
problems
yes.
there, right?
And I was at an event, and Del Bigtree was there, and he had a sty, and he had actually asked me if I had my product with me. And I think I lost you here a minute.
No, you're still good. You can flip
Okay.
back if you can. But that's amazing because I still have one. I can't believe I should have called you. That I should have called you, and I thought about that. Right there, it's still there, like 3 months later. Oral
Yeah,
antibiotics, topical antibiotics from the doctor,
right. So that
and
would be a good candidate to take the dietary supplement and then spray
right.
that in the eyes, so you're sandwiching the virus that is the sty
Ah, see this, I
from the
want to
inside
learn
and
how to
outside.
use these properly. That's why I'm glad that I have you today because I've been just freewheeling it and, taking them as I would think I should, not really knowing. And so this was why I'm glad because I want to start using them properly. So this I'm going to start testing out immediately.
Yes.
And then I was sick a couple months ago. Everybody was sick in Arizona a couple months ago. And it was like supposed to be the new flu or whatever. And 3 weeks, like long respiratory, whatever.
Yeah, the
And I got a little
bioweapon,
sick. It was what?
the bioweapons that they're releasing on us.
Yeah, like whatever the next generation is. And then, so I immediately grabbed this Micronic Silver nasal spray. And I was saying last week when I started talking about the product that I'm not a nasal spray user all the years because I heard they were addictive and my kids had bad allergies. So I tried to stay away from them for them because I didn't want them on them. So I didn't buy them. So I started using this that next morning when I woke up with a terrible throat. And I think it was 2 days. I was like done. Like I just used it consistently for a couple days and then I was not sick anymore. And everybody was still sick around me for a week or two. So I don't know. Is that
Yeah,
me
when we were at
wishful
Turning
thinking
Point,
or
a lot of people got sick.
right?
And matter of fact, a friend of ours, Jim Price, actually uses that. He got off his Flonase by using that nasal spray,
Right.
which he's on Flonase for about 14 years. And it's nice because you cannot overdose on it. So if you needed to spray it every 10 minutes in your nose or in your eyes, it's not synthetic. It doesn't build up in the lymphatic fat tissue
So
in
you're
your
not
body.
shooting a chemical directly into your brain. You're
Yeah,
right.
it's
I mean,
kind of funny.
that's what you're doing. You're shooting toxic chemicals directly into your closest passage to your brain with blood vessels. So like, I don't know.
I
That
don't know.
might
When
have
I
an
was in
effect
grade
later.
school, I never said I was gonna grow up and snort chemicals. So
Is I mean, yeah, I don't know. We don't really think it all the way through, do we? It's like, yeah, those things are bad. They might be addictive. Maybe they're not. They say maybe they're not addictive, right? So nobody ever really knows because the FDA doesn't care enough to ever find out for us. They don't do those studies. And you're ruining all the nasal passages and all the rhinoplasty doctors are making a killing because everybody's nasal passages are collapsing for the last 40 years. Everybody needs, nasal reconstruction basically in America. If everybody has like deviated septums and all the balloon plasty now. My sister said now she's getting referred to have the balloon because she's got a collapsed whatever. And I know tons of people had that. So it's like, yeah, they're giving us stuff to do that. And this is, okay, so I don't want to say it's not, I want to say not chemical, like not,
It's
right? Not
natural.
toxic chemical.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
natural.
so
It's like,
let's talk about how then it's natural in that I can understand.
well, see, when
Simple.
the problem with synthetics is they don't assimilate in the body. And you're putting like petroleums, and that's what it is. Polyethylene glycol is basically formulated for antifreeze, and ethylene, is polyester. So you're putting
Oh,
that.
okay.
So whoever thought
We
that
knew
that would be a problem?
polyester. We grew up on polyester.
Yeah,
That's
and
what they put
corduroy
on
pants.
us. That's what they put on our bodies for all the last 35 years is polyester, right? The
Yeah.
70s and 60s. And yeah, so they were
Well,
putting it in us and on us. That sounds
and think
not
about
good.
think about that corduroy pants. It was impossible to sneak up to people because when you're walking, they would rub and you hear that
I do love my
noise.
corduroy pants. I do love those. Sorry. I'm a product of my upbringing for sure. So the natural part of the Micronic Silver product is what will be able to help you without damaging the inside of your cranium, basically, right?
Yeah, so natural products assimilate in the body and get used. When they use a synthetic, and it can be the best well-intentioned synthetic out there, but those are forever chemicals. They get stuck in the lymphatic and fatty tissue in the cells of your fat and get stored for the rest of your life, which
Right.
causes inflammation, and autoimmune means your whole body's getting inflamed. Now you're not absorbing. Now suddenly in our 40s, where, hey, our kids are growing up, we're gonna get back healthy again. Our bodies can't absorb anything because we have so many toxins in us and we're so inflamed that, the whole saying, you are what you eat, is wrong. You are what you absorb. And most of us can't absorb anything. We've been poisoned for the last 40 years.
Right, right. And so I'm wondering if we start at any given point in time, because they used to say smoking would damage you forever, but then they said if you quit, your lungs partially regenerate, and sometimes whatever, you can, rebuild healthy tissue,
Yeah, typically in about
potentially.
2 years, your lungs will start cleaning themselves out, and you'll get,
So if we switch, okay, yeah, so we found that to be true. So if we switch, we've been toxified for our whole lives, 50 years or whatever, 67. If we start using products like these, what are expectations can they be in general that you can kind of notice differences or rid your body of this stuff? How long does it take to get stuff out, I guess, if you're replacing it with good stuff?
well, I mean, look at me. I'm 104 years old, and I look like I'm 60.
Are you on Social Security? Are you one of those? Are they doging you on social if you're 104? Are you on one of those lists?
No, but I'm a 60-year-old man that drives a Trans Am. So does that make me transgender? Uh, um, no, our body
No, but if
has.
it did, there that would be your choice, and we would support that as long as you didn't hoist it on anybody, under the age of 18 who didn't have freedom of choice because they're minors all across America. It's a federal law. So that shouldn't be up for grabs. Anybody under 18 should, if you're influencing them, that should be a crime still. We should
See, I
keep
should
it
become a
simple.
car dealer and force everybody to drive Trans Ams, right?
That's
Um,
that's right. Hey, I grew up in Oregon. Trans Ams are a really popular car, so we don't want to knock our Trans Ams. Come on, Van
I think
Halen fans out there.
you talked about the guy that went to Venezuela. Is that Van Halen? Or no? Or no, that's
Yeah,
Van.
Van, yeah, those guys, the guys in the vans that snatch the kids off the street. That's who those van
Yeah,
guys are.
yeah.
Heck
He's what is
They're
it,
not a
Congressman?
band. They're not a band. They're an organized crime ring that takes people and into vans and smuggles them in and out of countries, right? In the floorboards. So
Yeah.
different
Well,
kind of van altogether.
yeah.
But what you're doing is not that. You are actually enhancing the lives of people who want to try to get healthy. And that's a good thing. And that's why we're glad to know you. So the one thing I also definitely, I don't even know what time it is. Oh, we're good. I want to get to the oleozone. Yeah. Did
Yes.
I say it right?
No, you
Oleozone.
said it exactly right. So the Leozone
Okay.
is
Yeah.
amazing product. We are the only people I know of that have trapped ozone 100% in oil. And what that does is ozone is the second most potent purifier known to man. The smell is what you smell after a lightning strike. Oxygen is
Yeah. I was going to ask you what it is because it's like this clean, it's like like you're outside, but like I don't even know. It's like this, and it's like air, like you're smelling clean air, but in a substance. If
Yeah,
that doesn't make
that's exactly
sense.
what it is. Oxygen is O2, ozone is O3. When
Okay.
ozone gives up that single nascent oxygen molecule, it hits a carbon, it destroys it and reverts back to water and oxygen. So as
Yeah.
far as we know, we are the only people that have been able to trap that ozone 100% in oil. And
Right.
that is amazing on soft tissue pain. It reduces about 80% of the pain in about 8 minutes. It purifies and detoxifies the skin. We have people that, their kids or wives or husbands have asthma and they'll rub it on the back of the lungs and suddenly they're able to breathe again. It's infusing the activated oxygen into the body. If you get a bee
Okay.
sting or a bug bite, it'll destroy the poison and turn it to water and oxygen. And if you get a sunburn or any kind of burn, it's amazing. You put it on and instantly it's cool to the touch. It takes the heat right out of it and stops it from setting into the lower layers of skin.
Wow. Now, what about I did use it on my sty. Oh, wait, you just oh,
There
there
we
you
go.
are. Yeah, I did take a Q-tip and I did try it a couple nights. And then I got the oral antibiotics and then I thought that would help, but it's still there. I should probably finish using it. With that's just okay on your eye, right? Because it didn't bother me, but I could smell it. But again, it wasn't bad. It was just this different, indescribable, really. And I had to just trying to identify it all night. And so it's just like something you have to get, but it's clean. It's like a clean, like you're putting something clean on. You can tell. Tell me about that because you and I talked about your manufacturing facility and your machines and how the care you take are taking to make sure that everything you're producing is of the top cleanliness quality really possible if you're putting out health products that you would ingest. Tell
Yeah,
just
so we put a lot of money into building the new location. We have a full lab in there that is, it is all set up to be GMP certified good manufacturing process, almost like a pharmaceutical. We clean our equipment after every batch. It's very seldomly touched by human hands. There's only a few of us here that work on it, so we actually invented the products, make it, package it, label it, ship it. Everything is done in-house, so nobody has a chance to touch our products. So this way we can make sure that it's the most pure and most clean product that's out there. We've gotten quite a reputation for the quality of our products and the effectiveness of our products. If you're familiar with silver. Well, that was a nice little blaster.
sorry about that. I don't know if that was me or you. Sorry about that. That is interesting. Okay,
I was
hold
going to
on. Are
say
we getting?
a good looking guy popped up and he was really smart. I'm like, I'm going to have a debate.
It's you, I think. Okay, sorry. That was my doing. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, keep going because this is the important part about what you do and your manufacturing for people.
Yeah, we want the cleanest possible environment that we can have for our products. We are working on developing new products all the time. With the Micronic Silver being stabilized, we can actually put it into other products like cosmetics and a makeup line that we're working on of healing makeups and cosmetics. So you're not putting the ethylene glycol on your skin or the petroleums on your skin, where they're good in the short term, but they're not very good in the long term. So the anti-aging effect of what we do is let's start right now and stop putting these toxins on your skin and get all natural in there. And again, we want to have control over the manufacturing of our product. We've had a lot of some people that we were looking at investing that'd be like, outsource this, outsource that, go to China for this. I'm like, no, we want really good products made here in the USA. We want to hire people in the USA to give them jobs. People like you, where we can get a format for getting it out there and advertise with you so that you can keep your podcast going and make a little bit of money at it
Right.
too.
And provide healthy products that, we can say, it's weird. I noticed that, tell me what you think about this. The FDA, all these things we see on TV that are FDA approved. And then you see these commercials that are not FDA approved of products that, like that older gentleman with the 150 items in his, I don't know if it's good or bad. I'm just saying that, but it's not FDA approved. I don't know, maybe it is great. Or the balance of nature, you hear about that. Everybody's using it. People love it, they say. Not FDA approved. But maybe the non-FDA approved products are really the ones we should be using because they don't want to approve them because they can't control the founders and the manufacturing because there are people like you who are actually breaking free from the toxic chemical way of life and doing it, and they don't want to approve these companies. So is that a possible gauge we could use these days?
Yeah, so to me, the FDA is a fraudulent drug association. The CDC is the criminal drug cartel. They don't want the truth out there. They don't, they don't want natural out there. So I'm going to use an example. If you have scurvy, which is a vitamin C deficiency, and eating lemons or oranges will take care of it, and has. If a doctor were to write a prescription for you for an orange or a lemon, he would lose his medical license for prescribing an unauthorized medicine.
Right.
And it's insane that there's all these natural stuffs that work, and it goes even a little bit further than that. A good friend of mine, Dr. Joel Wallach, who his work research is in the Smithsonian, and they said they cannot even put a value on what it'd take to redo his work, but the medical society calls him a quack. So he sued the federal government in 1973 when he realized that bread was stealing minerals from developing children.
Wow. Oh, did we lose you again? We're having a few little.
Dr. Wallach.
There we go.
I'm sorry? Okay.
You just cut out.
I was talking to Dr. Wallach. Okay. Yeah, because my computer wasn't working. I'm on my phone, so when I get a call, it kind of interrupts. So about 2 years ago, and this is the lack of knowledge of doctors too. About 2 years ago, I had a headache for about 6 months straight. Didn't go away. And my sweat smelled like the strongest ammonia you could imagine. And I went to my doctor, and they're like, well, we'll need this test. We'll need that test. We know what's going on. He wanted like $25,000 worth of tests. And I got a hold of Dr. Wallach. He's been a friend of mine for years. He asked me about 5 questions. And he goes, okay, you have a condition called hyperammonemia, where your body's converting proteins into ammonia, and people die from it. And this had been going on for about 6 months. So I talked to Dr. Wallach, and he says, you need these 5 minerals at this percentage. He says, and you need to get on a SAMe to help release the gases from the brain. And I was like, okay, so should I just order it? And he said, yeah. I said, he said, yeah, do it because you don't want to wait too long because this could become deadly. And I said, well, this has been going on for 6 months. And he goes, hang up your phone, go to the health food store. Don't even buy my products. He said, go there, get this. He said, most people don't live 6 months with this condition.
Wow.
So I took the minerals and took the SAMe. Now within 30 to 45 minutes, my headache was gone. And over the next 3 or 4 days, that ammonia smell went away. So I went back to my doctor, who I'd had for 25 years. Michael's a great guy, and told him what it was. He'd never heard of it. He goes, I've never heard of that. I don't know what it is. And again, it's part of it is the ignorance in the medical community with not teaching. They don't teach food. They don't teach minerals. They don't teach nourishment and supplement in medical school. And a lot of these doctors just don't know, but there are a number of them that do. So when you look like rheumatoid arthritis, that's a bacterial infection caused by a macrophage. So they could prescribe 10 days or 2 weeks of minocycline, and your rheumatoid arthritis will be gone. But they don't do it. So for $370, they can treat you, or they can treat you for the rest of your life and make $370,000. So where's their motivation?
Right. I mean, yeah, why would they ever want to? And that was part of, you also, I just want to touch on this because you touch on the medical freedom and the way the pharmaceutical industry is run. It's like they own us, like they own our health, and they create all these issues for us that we have to become reliant on them. And you talk about that 14-year-old boy, Tanner Smith, during COVID, who refused the vaccine. And I don't want to forget these things happened because they're my kids. I would not let them take the vaccine. They're healthy 20 and 23 strapping young men. You know them. You know my boys, right? They had dinner.
Yeah, dinner with them one night.
Yeah. And
big, tall, strapping guys.
Yeah, Daniel talks about you often. In fact, well, he's at work now. He can't have his phone on him during the workday, but he'll want to watch. Yeah, he asked about you. He thought you were so cool.
Oh, nice.
And so 14, I mean, he just turned 20. So this young man in North Carolina, what happened to him and do we know how he is? Do we have any updates since then on what is taking place with him?
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tanner Smith. They gave him a vaccine during COVID, and this was in North Carolina. And we were just talking about, you had brought up the case because they were forcing him to take the shot. Ringing a bell?
That's well, that is pretty prevalent. I had a couple of them. I had a woman when I was at the Reawaken. Her daughter was 12 years old,
Okay,
and it was asking me about the Micronic Silver, and I'm like, well, this will help build and support the immune system is what you want. And she shared with me that the school vaccinated her daughter without her permission. And her daughter is in a wheelchair, has seizures. I mean, all this stuff. And she was looking at my dietary supplement versus my topical healing spray. And she goes, well, this one's twice as strong. So can I take this and dilute it down because we really can't afford any, because of the whole medical bills. Now, there was probably 10 or 15 people outside my booth when I was talking to this woman. And I must have loaded her up with about $2,000 worth of product. I mean, tears are rolling down everybody's face
right,
this woman's so emotional. It's like, here, just take it. She's like, I can't afford this. I'm like, no, no, this is for your daughter. I'm giving this to you. And she goes, yeah, but I can't pay for it. I'm like, no, God said, here, help your daughter, and this is for you. And it was, people were just like so in
right.
tune with this woman because she didn't do it to her daughter. She didn't voluntarily have her daughter get shot. So school did it without her permission. And now she's left to hold the bag on the medical care for her daughter. They don't know
Right,
where to turn. The hospitals are going, no, it can't be because of this. And we know it's because of the vaccinations.
right.
And it was kind of funny because so after we done that, everybody's calming down. This guy walks up and he goes, hey, I want to buy a couple bottles of your product. And everybody's just got tears rolling down their face. I'm just like, you're going to have to give us a minute. Um,
Right. Well, these
but
are the things that people should get on the website too at micronicsilver.net and read the testimonials of so many people who've written in, unsolicited because they wanted to let people know what it's like. And you don't need the flashy dancing commercials of how awesome Wegovy is or the other newest drug they named 2 days ago, and tomorrow they name a drug a day practically. I wonder who gets paid to name the drugs. Like who's raking in that ridiculous paycheck? Like here, name
well,
another drug.
well, I do know that when we looked at, when I first invented the Micronic Silver, I said, hey, maybe we get this certified as a medicine. And when I checked into that, they said, well, the first thing you have to do is cut a check for $25 million before we allow any testing. And I was like, okay, that's great. I can do that. Just don't cash it. But
Who do
the
you have to
level,
pay off with? Who do you pay off with the $25 million?
right. And then
Which
they're going to go,
agency?
right. And then they're going to go, well, wait a minute, it's all natural. You can't patent it. The big pharma's not going to want you to do it. It's really become an entity of its own that's about suppression, that it's about protecting the profits. We've become a society where the individual is a commodity, a never-ending resource that we're like bacteria. They just culture us over and over. And I don't believe their goal is to kill us. I believe their goal is to take every dime we'll ever make in our whole life, to keep us
Right.
alive just long enough to take everything that we can possibly have.
I mean, it seems like that is definitely one option of what is happening. It's always hard to be sure because I think they have a lot of schemes, a lot of different irons in the fire, so to speak. So I think they're constantly changing those schemes, and that probably could be one of them for sure. We definitely know it all kind of works hand in hand, and as they're getting richer, we're getting sicker. And so that's not good. I wanted to also real quick ask you, because we are running out of time, so we'll definitely just have you on again soon, and we'll just keep the conversation going. But because we're talking about, this particular, the Micronic Silver that we showed you all the products earlier. I highly recommend you go on micronicsilver.net, look at the product lines, look at the prices are not expensive. If you're, still buying Starbucks every day, which is toxic and all kinds of things. I don't even know all the horrible things that they do, but you can look that up too. Use the internet for your personal good, not theirs. But this, if you start using, you should try it on things. I'm going to start using it now every single night on my eye or whatever. Yeah. And spray my face. Also the lines, I don't know, I'm worried. So, I mean, it can't hurt. And if it's natural, I'm all in, because all the other stuff is so darn expensive, shots and plumpers and stuff, and that's all toxic for sure. And so I'm going to start trying this. We're going to test it now through December, when I probably see you here in Phoenix again, right? So
Yep.
and by the way, no makeup on today. I don't know what I look like on that side of the camera, but we're going to be like, let's do a real life test. And so whatever lines, and you can zoom in. I don't have anything on except for some little lip gloss.
Yeah.
But and then
There's no lines, by the way. You can't see any lines.
I don't think I retouched my thing on Zoom. Somebody said the other day, somebody touches their stuff. Oh, I had Art Del Puerto on last week, and somebody said, I think he's really retouched on his Zoom shots. And I'm like, oh, I didn't ask him about it, but I'm like, I don't think so. He has pretty nice skin, Hispanic and all. So I'm Middle Eastern, so that might be a factor. But we're going to start trying these products, and you guys need to look into them. But I want to ask real quick about the other silvers that people probably have been using. You're not necessarily, it's not that they're bad or better. It's, can you use them all in conjunction with each other? Does that work?
Well, so the colloidal, the ionic, and the nano silver. I mean, the colloidal silver, really 3,000 years before Christ, the Phoenicians lined their water vessels with it so it wouldn't stagnate. It's been around forever, and it's not that it's a bad product. It's just it had limitations. All three of them do. The Micronic Silver is the latest technology. It takes care of the stability issue, which was the downside of silver, its reactiveness. And we've been able to take care of that. So I think we've come up with pretty much a more perfect product. And that's one of the reasons why we put the customers' testimonies on our website. There's, I don't know, 100 and something of them on there about all different things. And I tell people, don't take my word for it. Just go and do your research. Go and take a look at this stuff. We've gotten to be a society where the first thing on Google is, that's the gospel. This is the truth. Where they used to teach you to really look into things, to research and debate things and stuff. And I tell people, go take a look at it. I'm not going to cut anybody else's silver product down. It's worked for centuries. We just came up with a new type of silver that's more efficient, works a little bit different in the body. And we're seeing it work on conditions that typical silvers don't work on. So there's an added benefit of that. When I give out my phone number, people call me, they're surprised because I answer my phone. They're like, yeah, I seen the guy on, this show or that show. I'm like, yeah, that's me. Like, you answer your phone. I'm like, why wouldn't I? It's my business. I mean,
wow. I didn't know that you did that.
questions.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, because I had Mike Dillon. You know Mike Dillon?
Yes.
Airwater
Mike's
Dillon?
a friend of
So
mine.
yeah, so I had him on a few weeks ago, and I learned about all his products, and he gave out his number to me on air, which I didn't really realize that he was doing as I was typing it into my phone, repeating the numbers out loud. And then later, Robert in the back, Noel, he gave his cell phone out live. So I called CJ and I was like, you need to know this. And then, but like you said, it's like I mean, I hope that's was his intention, to be that accessible, because I'm putting it with what you just said, and maybe that's what we're seeing in the new founders of these amazing companies with amazing products, is that these owners and founders want you to be able to come to them with questions and feedback in real time, and not run it through a ton of different whoever, and they want to know so they can address it, answer it. Is that true?
Yeah, we want people, when it comes to your health, people, are unsure of things. They're, kind of a little bit afraid of things. They want answers. And, I'm a micro company, so right now it's a little bit easier for me to answer my phone. We are growing in size quite rapidly. But we are going to make sure that we hire people to answer the phones, so people are going to answer the phones, and we want medical grade people that can answer the questions and tell people. And listen, if our product doesn't do something, I'm not going to say it does it, because you're going to find out if you take it and it doesn't do it, and we don't want that bad reputation. but we also try to counsel people and say, okay, this product works really well for that, or this product is fantastic for that. And we don't look for getting paid for that. It's like, I want to give the truth to people. And I think that's what's really built a strong connection with me and a lot of the people like you and people on the Reawake America tour, and, Charlie Kirk's people with, the stuff that
Turning
he
Point.
does is that, yeah, we're about the truth. And, and this is what the Biden administration and the liberals didn't get. So when you lie to us about something, and the truth comes out, which it eventually does, you cut people off for the rest of your life. I mean, they want nothing to do with you because you're a liar. Give us the truth, and if it's not the answers we want, at least we have the information. We're adults; we can handle it, and we can make decisions that are in our own best interest. Don't manipulate us and lie to us, get us to do things that are against our own health and against our children, and then act like, oh well, we told you all along that this was. No,
Right. It's
you're
in the fine
an evil
print.
bad person.
Didn't you read the fine print on the bottle that nobody can read after 50 because we all need readers? And it's like, even with like magnifying and like light, you can't read any disclaimers about anything. So they give it to you technically, but not in a digestible way for the eyes and the ages that are
Yep.
having to read these things that are killing us, then causes heart attacks and dizziness and, brain swelling and, every other ailment that is going to kill you, frankly. It's not like, maybe you break out in I don't know, sweat for a minute. I don't know.
Well,
Everything else sounds dangerous,
if I ever
right?
decide to run for president, there's going to be some things I'm going to do. One of them is restaurants have to have better lighting. I
Oh
don't care
no, we
about
like the way the girls like
the
I
romantic
don't speak
lighting.
for all, I don't speak for all females, but I mean, a lot of gals that I know, we like that dim lighting at night because it's like relaxing. You're not in the office. It's like makes you, it's a little more forgiving after a long day. So just
No,
saying.
I stress out over getting the bill because I can't read it and I got to take my light. So either they got to do
Yeah,
bigger
that's
printing,
okay from
and
that
they add,
perspective for sure. Yes,
yeah,
the
that's going to
menu,
be
yeah,
that's going to be one of
100%.
my points there. The phone solicitations have to stop. When you
They're
order
definitely cut
something
down.
and they get a credit card number and you have to call to cancel it, that's another thing that shouldn't be
So
there.
Jeff added for president. So as soon as you fix with Maha what they're trying to accomplish for all of our health, I say keep up that first. So I would potentially vote for you down the road, but right now my focus for this year, after I met everyone at the last Turning Point America Fest in Phoenix in December, including you and RNC
John
John
Richardson.
Richardson, yeah, and learned about those products, and now Mike Dillon. So in 2025, it's like getting healthy from the inside, not worrying about going to the gym. I'm am cutting every single meal in half so that I don't have to go to the gym, but I'm looking at the inside out approach now. So I'm encouraging everybody to decide when they're going to, yay Maha, yay red dyes. We don't control that. So that's going to take 6 months or a year to happen. We do control this, right? We control this. So we can start immediately changing our habits before they make everybody take the red dyes out, which is funny that it's going to take them a year when they already don't use them in other places around the world. So you think that they just make that recipe the next day for the cereal batch. They already have the recipe written somewhere in Europe, right? Don't they do that?
Right.
No dyes. Can't we just do that and take that recipe back? It's the same company, isn't it, in all countries?
Yeah, but we have to grow the beets, and we need the chemicals to grow the beets. It's really interesting because the
Oh, the
companies that
chemicals. Oh, yeah.
yeah, the companies that do the drugs are the same chemical companies that make the fertilizers, that make the paints. Those are all the same company, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it like that in industry to industry wise. You're right. Yeah, that's a bigger hill to climb for sure. So starting with your own personal space, right, in your life, again, thank you, you made help make my point even stronger, is the best approach, right? So I was going to read the whole commercial today, but I feel like I'm doing a whole commercial today. So I'm going to skip the script and just use my own words. Micronic Silver, I am learning about it. I don't know everything about it. I'm glad we had Jeff Adam on, the founder of the company, because I did learn more. I'm going to start using it properly. And if you missed this hour, which we're going to be wrapping in a minute, not yet, I'm not letting you go. I'm just prepping you that we're going to be leaving in a minute. So yeah, I just say get some products. Micronic Silver, I would think Jeff would agree with me. If it's not Micronic Silver, okay, he's okay with that. Go to Mike Dillon's page at Air Water Healing, or go to RNC, .store. Find real products made by real people like Jeff, right? Like Mike, people who give out their phone numbers, for accessibility while they still are able to, unless they get too big and they want to manage properly every, inquiry, and then they have to hire people for sure, qualified people from America who are earning a living as Americans. So thank you for that too. The Made in America is pretty important. Tariffs or no tariffs, you should support your own country first. So let's just pretend that's
and a
thing.
little disclaimer we have to add, John Richardson's product is made by God because it's an apricot seed. So
right, springs out of the earth.
right.
Those are the best. Those are still the best. The original, yeah.
And I
That's a
would like
big
everybody
point.
to say a prayer for John. John had to go into the hospital for a procedure, so hopefully everything's okay. It was a couple days ago I got notice. So John is a very good friend.
Nothing too serious, we hope.
I don't think so. I'll be talking to his wife tonight and finding out. But
okay, wow, 2 weeks in a row, I've gotten some interesting, shocking medical news. Last week, it was our poor Congressman Andy Biggs, his passing of his daughter to cancer that last week. And well, we certainly will pray, for John and speedy, full recovery in all ways. And yeah, so yeah, let's all do that.
Well, one thing with John, we know he's not cancer because he eats about 100 apricot seeds a day. So
yeah, you're going to look at that too. I learned about that. That's interesting. The apricot seed thing, I'm still learning about that as well. But Micronic Silver, what we talked about today, you guys, if you use nasal sprays, and I know that probably 80% of you, whoever would listen to this, probably do, because that's what they've conditioned America to do. They're toxic. They're going right into your brain, right in your passages where all your little blood vessels are. And so try this one. I tried it. I can say that I think it really did cut my cold down to 2 days instead of a week and a half to 2 weeks, like everyone else around me that time period. So with the same, my symptoms just ran through me, like throat to the ears, to like this, and then done like 72 hours later. And I just was using this. Oh, and my COVID spray from Dr. Stella Emanuel. I don't know the name of it, but I spray it in my mouth the minute I get a sore throat. So it's a combo. You have to learn what works for you. Start buying stuff today.
And Dr. Stella's great.
Dr. Stella's great.
Dr. Stella.
And
she's
her
great.
heart, oh my God, she's the nicest lady in the world. Sweetest lady. Day or night, does it matter if we use it day or night? Everybody supplements. Nope. Oh, don't use it here. Don't take with vitamin C with this one. Don't eat citrus after that, whatever.
Any time of day, night or day is good. Nope, night or day is good. There's no contradiction with any other medicines. You can take them just as you need it.
Supplement, if you don't want to drink it, you can put it in water, you can put it in tea, hot or cold. It won't ruin the stability of the product. So you will still be gaining all the benefits, like cooking your vegetables, they say diminishes the what you're getting. So not the same. So these are really strong products, and we got to hear about them today. Thank you so much, Jeff. If you didn't hear the hour, that's why I'm doing these like step-by-step shows with products that I'm learning about, so that you can hear them broken down right now before you buy them. And then you're not wondering really what you're getting. You can make an informed decision fully. And testimonials written are great, but hearing from a founder really break it down is, I think, even so much better. So thanks.
Well, thank you for having me on. You've been a friend, and it's been good to get to know you and, to educate people. I love just talking about the products to people and helping them out.
Yeah, it's great. So, and if you want to hang out, we're going to do a quick little segment on the MAGA Minute. If you want to hang out in the back to listen to the end of the show, that's cool. If you have to go, that's cool too. And we'll talk soon. We appreciate you being here today. You guys check out micronicsilver.net. like this afternoon or tonight or this weekend when you're hanging out at home and it pops into your mind, or go on Patriot_Mom007 on all of the channels and look at the descriptions and click on the link right there. And you don't even have to look it up. Just look me up, but you're already following me if you're here. If you're not here, everybody who's here, maybe hit the share button for me. That would be super helpful and I would really appreciate it. And as always, I appreciate you guys spending time right on your Friday. And the feedback, I love it. Mr. Jackson, thank you for your feedback this week. I don't know if I met any of those feedback notes today, but I'm going to send you the link and then I want to hear back again. We want to make it the best show possible. And hopefully with Jeff Adam here today with Micronic Silver, you learned how to be healthier. And so before we do the end of day, we're going to hear our Carolyn Levitt, press secretary, who we are thankful is in that office for the MAGA Minute. We're going to hear what President Trump did all of last week to protect and save our country from where it was going under the last administration. And it's been a full week of wins for America. So let's hear from Carolyn. Do we have that one? And I think he's probably Robert bringing it up. Maybe. She's going to be talking about, I don't know, Bukele visiting, Maloney visiting, all the deals we're making with all the countries who are coming to the table, who everybody said we're going to flee and go with China. And now they're dealing with America exclusively while he's giving out amazing deals to benefit us this time around.
Hey everybody, as you can hear, we are warming up for the White House Easter egg roll, which will take place on Monday, but we did a lot this week, so let's go through it in the MAGA Minute. This week, a number of companies announced massive investments, with NVIDIA, Abbott Labs, and Honda among the list of companies investing billions of dollars in jobs right here in the United States. President Trump hosted President Bukele of El Salvador, Prime Minister Maloney of Italy, the 2024 NCAA football champions Ohio State University, and the U.S. Navy football team this week as well. And the border is still more secure than it has ever been, with Border Patrol recording its lowest southwest border crossings in history. The president took actions to lower prescription drug prices, prevent illegal aliens from obtaining your Social Security benefits, and removed burdensome regulations that were stifling the U.S. commercial fishing industry. Angel mom Patty Morin joined me from the podium to tell the story of her daughter's brutal murder at the hands of an illegal alien, while simultaneously calling out her senator who flew to El Salvador to retrieve an MS-13 gang member, wife-beater, and illegal alien. President Trump remains committed to putting the American people first, you and your family first, and we will never waver in that commitment. We'll see you for next week's MAGA Minute, and we are wishing everybody a blessed and happy Easter Sunday.
That's right. I hope everybody did have a great Easter. It was my youngest son's 20th birthday on Easter, which made it even a better day on 4/20. We could reclaim that on, the resurrection. So turn that around. And so President Trump, once again, another week of naysayers. I keep hearing what he's not doing fast enough. We're at day, I think it's 96 or 7 or something today. So not even at 100 days yet. And if you didn't pay attention or didn't believe it, you can literally either go back to my shows every Friday and check out the last minute. If you don't want to watch the rest of it for all the other information, just get the MAGA Minute and see all the lists of things he's done week after week after week. And it's hard to deny it's happening. You can look up each story and you can dig deeper if you don't believe that. But they're not reporting it anywhere else, I don't think, because a lot of people don't understand what he's doing. So we hope it continues. They need to stop stopping him in court. And our highest court needs to understand that that's inappropriate on all levels, unconstitutional towards our government, our president in office. And they need to straighten up. I mean, come on, this is absurd. We need to straighten up our country. He's doing that. And it's going to all work out. It just takes a little bit of time, right? When things go bad, you can't fix up the house in one day. It takes the whole village, maybe over a few weeks, right? So give them a little bit of time and it will continue to get better for everybody. Patience is needed in this instance for sure. So I highly recommend you check out Carolyn Levitt at Press Secretary. If you don't hear it from me, get it from her. The White House has resources. You can hear what they're doing. They're posting everything online, fully transparent with the DOJ website too. You can see where they're finding the waste, fraud, and abuse. It never ends. They'll do it until the day they're not allowed to. The 130-day mark, I think, is coming up on that. So, until then, we're going to be seeing it, and I think they'll put, things in place that somebody will continue that work, probably a paid position because they've all been doing it, for free, just to help people. So thank you guys. We appreciate it at Elon Musk, and hopefully everybody will stop trying to harm you and your family, and the death threats will end sooner than later, because the criminals are becoming criminals. And so letting criminals in, then all the people are becoming criminals on the other side, apparently thinking that those are okay behaviors. So we really need to call that out. And yes, Nina Ansari, we started with her in Arizona, going down to El Salvador with all the other, she's our new AZ Congresswoman. And I totally would love to have her on the show. She's in Arizona, I'm in Arizona. I'm giving you my opinion about her just from what I just heard. I don't know her, I've never met her. I was hoping she'd be a little bit less like that when I heard she was, she got elected, but disappointment. She is too much like them. So, but if she wants to explain herself, how possibly she thinks that people in Arizona are okay with this behavior, I would love to have her on and let her say her piece, and not assume what I'm thinking is the worst possible reasons, that she doesn't care about anyone in Arizona who she represents. So let's keep that in mind, because we have to be informed voters, right, at all times. And then as far as Jeff Adam, we thank him from Micronic Silver, the founder, for coming on to learn more about him and his company. You can find all the resources at Patriot_Mom007 and in the descriptions. And if you go to Rumble and YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Truth, go ahead and follow, like, subscribe, and share. And at X, it's at PMom007. Also want to thank Robert today. He's always there to help me. And we work through things every week. This week was no different on both sides here and the guest. And so we learn together, and I love learning every day with him, which he teaches me something all the time. Thank heavens for that. But thanks for hanging in there. And you guys check out his channels at JData17 on Facebook and X, Arizona Live Data channels there, Chula Vista Live Data, San Diego Live Data channels. He covers a lot of interesting things happening throughout California. So you can learn about that by watching those channels. And please always remember, you got to get educated, get involved, any level that's comfortable for you. If you don't know what's happening, within your community, you cannot help to improve anything for your friends, neighbors, your community, your city, county, your state, your nation, okay? And most importantly, your family. That includes getting healthy and bringing products in that will work for their health long-term and not destroy it internally. So next week, we have another amazing guest, CJ Wheeler. She's an author. She is with Book It CJ, and she's a friend that I met a few years ago. We're excited to have her on and hear about her story. It's very interesting. And as always, we hope you have an amazing weekend coming up. And we look forward to seeing you again next week here on Friday at noon on American Perspective. And Robert, take us out.